Some people enjoy simply playing, while others enjoy the competition, while still others enjoy and make a living out of the game. This game is played by young all the way to older men and ladies. The game or sport I am referring to is tennis. This speech is going to cover the beginning, the evolution, and the game of tennis how it is today. According to tennisabout.com, the game was originated in France around the 11th or 12th century. French monks who began playing a crude handball version in the monastery walls they would do it either on monastery walls or over a rope strung across the courtyard. Their version was called Jeu de Paume, which means game of the hand. After people were tired of hurting their hands and having their hands become sore, they started playing with either gloves or using a wooden paddle. Later on, the wooden paddle grew a longer handle and had webbing go across the inside and was the beginning of the racket as we know it today. The ball was made out of either a wad of hair, a wad of cork, or a wad of wool, and then was later stitched by hand and looked something like our modern baseballs. The nobility soon learned about the game from the monks, and some accounts say that as early as the 13th century's 1800 courts were in France. The game soon moved over to England, and Henry VII and King Henry VIII were both avid players and built many courts throughout their reign. Soon by the year 1500, a wooden frame racket strung with sheep gut was in common use, along with a 3-ounce cork ball. The evolution of tennis came a little bit later on. The early game matured into what is now called real tennis, and is played on a narrow indoor court where the ball is played off walls that include a number of openings and oddly angled surfaces, toward which the players aim for various strategic patterns and attacks through the different weird shapes on the walls. The net was at 5 feet high on the ends and 3 feet in the middle, but this was later on changed. During the 1700s, the game basically disappeared, but the invention of rubber balls brought the game back to life on open lawns. The game then started being played outside, and the rules changed. In 1874, Major Walton C. Wingfield patented the equipment and rules of the game, fairly similar to what we play today. His court, however, was not rectangular. It was in the shape of an hourglass. The official rules were posted later on, and then were adapted to add deuce, advantage, and a second serve, so if you missed your first serve, you didn't lose the point. The United States National Lawn Tennis Association was founded in the U.S., and the first U.S. championships were played in 1881. According to Wimbledon.com, the All England Club held the first Wimbledon tournament, and its tournament committee changed the tennis court from an hourglass to a square that would be easier to judge and have more surface to play on. The net stayed the same, and however in 1882 the court size was adjusted to its current size, and the net on the sides was brought from 5 down to 3 feet. How the game is today. The game is scored from 15, 30, 40, and then game. If players tied at 40, it's called deuce, and you have to win by 2. The French Open was founded in 1891 and was included in the Olympics in 1896. Then it jumped all the way to the 1990s when the Davis Cup was introduced for Britain and U.S. citizens. For everyone else, they had to find somewhere else to play. Every area played tennis a little bit different until 1913 when the International Lawn Tennis Federation was founded in Paris by 12 nations. And in 1925, the French Open Championship opened up where anyone could join, not only the French residents. This allowed later, the 1968, the Open era of tennis began, and allow pros and amateurs to play in the same tournaments. And in 1979, the Wimbledon tournament opened to where everyone could play. In conclusion, over the years, the rules and locations of tennis have changed, but the joy of the game has always been there. The word tennis is derived from the French tenez, which means take this, said as one player was about to serve to the other. Nowadays, we just say the score.